What's up, everybody out there? I want to personally say thank you. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail over here at Pepe La View. And I definitely want to welcome you new viewers, returning viewers, and you subscribers. We're talking about an R&B diva, okay? I'm back in that mood. We're going to talk about R&B divas today. And I didn't intend to, because if you think about this lady here, Lisa Fischer, you would easily think that she's an R&B diva of the 80s. She can also be considered an R&B diva of the 90s. Why? Because she released her So Intense record in 1991. Now, over here, that is the criteria for you being an R&B diva. You had to have released an album in that year. Now, Lisa Fischer has also released music in the 1980s, maybe as part of a group or something like that, or a single or something of the sort, in the beginning stages of her career. And so one could say that makes her an R&B diva over here. Now, there are definitely several angles that I can go in introducing Miss Lisa Fischer. All right. And I thought about that. I was like, how can I introduce Lisa Fischer? I mean, where should I start? Maybe I could start at the beginning, like most people do, and then just talk about their career, how it built up and what they did, and this, that, and the other. Just look on a bio somewhere, looking some kind of publication or, and then just tell you facts, that way. Boring. We don't do that over here. As a matter of fact, as I told you before, I'm the person back in the day. I read those album credits. I know all about the charts and this, that, and the other. Read Billboard magazine, the back of Jet magazine. I go to my local record store and they have the charts and stuff posted in the record store. Y'all should know how good I am by now. Okay. And if you don't, just stick around. You'll find out. So I was like, okay, I can do that. Then I said, well, if you're not going to do that, then maybe you can just start in the middle. Luther Vandross. That's right, because she is a background singer. And she was a background singer for several years for Luther Vandross. I said I could start there. And I was like, well, how would you start there? Boring. So I said to myself, 1991. She releases So Intense, her album. And it hit me. Lisa Fischer says that after the release of her 1991 So Intense album, an album, by the way, that gave us How Can I Ease the Pain, a #1 R&B hit, almost cracked the top 10 on the pop charts. It's number 11, I believe. She releases a second single, Save Me, number 7 on the R&B charts. Hovered around the 70, 80, lower part of the pop charts. Yeah, 74, 75-ish. Still not bad. And then she released a third single. I can't remember what that third single. I don't think it was Get Back to Love, was it? Could have been Get Back to Love. But she releases a third single. Then the following year, I believe she receives a Grammy nomination. And guess what happens? She wins it. She wins the Grammy, but she ties with Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle releases her Burning CD in 1991. And on that record, she released Feels Like Another One with Big Daddy Kane, Somebody Loves You, Baby, and When You've Been Blessed Feels Like Heaven. Kind of fuzzy on the numbers, the way I'm thinking, I don't think they're all #1 hits for her. Maybe it's like a 1, 2, 3 hit type of thing for Patti LaBelle, on the R&B charts. But nevertheless, I had the record. How did I get that record? I'm glad you asked. Now, I'm about to age myself. You old heads might remember. You new heads definitely don't remember. There was a time in magazines. Oh God, I don't believe. I thought about this and I was like, wow, I remember that. Do you all remember when in magazines, I think you can find them in any magazine for the most part, any popular magazine. I can't remember the magazines that they were in, but you could get so many CDs or cassettes for a penny, right? You open up the little, I don't know, envelope or whatever it was that was attached to the magazine, and then you put your name and your address down. You'll put a penny, tape a penny on the application. And then maybe within, I don't know, I'm going to say about a month, maybe 2 weeks to a month's time, you will get those CDs in the mail, right, that you chose. And all you had to do was promise to purchase 6 CDs from them for within 6 years or something like that. But you got maybe 6. I don't think it was 12. I think it was 6 free, but you had to purchase 6 or something like that within that year. Anyway, that's how I got the Patti LaBelle cassette at the time, because I was depending on my mom, to buy my music at the time. And thankfully she did that. But when I found I could do that, I was like, whoa, that's me. So Lisa Fischer record, I purchased with that penny thing, putting your penny on the thing and mailing it off. And Patti LaBelle record, I purchased it with that penny deal too. Anywho, those were some days, you guys. So she ties with Patti LaBelle. They receives it. Move right along. You think everything is great, right? Yeah. Well, the way the industry goes, right, as it relates to releasing records, if Lisa Fischer released her record in 1991, then chances are she's going to release her next record somewhere around 1993. Now, can't tell you exactly what's going on at the time with Lisa Fischer in 1993, but I can definitely tell you around 1994, 1995-ish, there's some things that are going on over with her record company, Elektra Records. All right. Now, from what I understand, now I could be wrong about the details. Like, I kind of put everything together. Okay. Now, I might dish out the dirt on who dropped kicked who in these entertainment streets every now and then, literally and figuratively speaking. But for the most part, it's kind of like you just look and you just observe, you listen to what the artists have to say, you listen to, what things are going on, you just kind of pay attention to things, right? So anyway, so you would think in 1993 she would come out with a new record. It is what it is. Now, what do we know about Lisa Fischer in that record, So Intense? Well, from my understanding, she had been working on it for quite some time. I'm going to say maybe around 1988 all the way up to, let's just say 1991, she's working on the record. From my understanding, that's why she called the record So Intense. It was just kind of intense for her, doing the record and then, singing background for all these other artists. It was just a lot going on. So it was intense. So we do know that her management, same manager as Luther Vandross. She and Luther Vandross had the same management, which in hindsight sounds okay. Now, Lisa Fischer has been on the record as saying that, Luther was very kind and generous to allow her to use his management. Understandable, to say he was nice and kind to do so. So she has Luther Vandross management. Luther produces some records some songs on the record. By the way, in a Luther Vandross type of style, now that I think about it, not my favorite songs on the record, but definitely a Luther Vandross kind of feel. I think in the top of my head, I'm thinking, is it Some Girls and Get Back to Love are definitely Luther Vandross's songs on that record. I'm thinking there's two others I can't remember. But anywho, he does. This lady releases How Can I Ease the Pain? And for the most part, that single is kind of like a slow build. What I mean by slow build, the way the song is stylized. Narada Michael Walden, if I haven't told you already, produced it. Lisa Fischer has co-writing credits on that single. From my understanding, the line in the song, "A fool for love is a fool for pain," that's her line. She wrote that. Lisa Fischer did. So anyway, long story short story long. It seems like it's a winning combination. So the slow build of the song, and as I'm watching the video, I'm like, oh, okay, this is nice. Okay. And then she hits the note. And you're like, do that again? Like what? What did she just do? And so it's one of those songs where you have that dramatic end and you're listening to it like, okay, I'm waiting on it. And so then when you see her performing live, what do? You wait on it. It was that song. Maybe it is a good song, by the way, great song. But for us knowing people, R&B divas as singers, or in this case, she's a singer, we expect it. We're looking for it. And she does it time and time again. And sometimes when she hits that note, she hits it differently each and every time. She's very sensual and seductive with it, and we love that over here about our R&B divas. But it's 1993. We should have a record by Lisa Fischer by now, right? And we don't. Now, I think it's 60 feet from stardom of stardom or something like that. It's a documentary discussing background singers. Wonderful. A must watch. She's in it. Loved it. Loved it a lot. She talks about it in that. Now, I'm not quite sure. Now, I do know there's an executive over there at the time by the name of Bob Crass now. Okay. Not quite sure what department he's in or what have you, but it looks like he is in that department, if you will. Like he's something of a big head, big wig over at Elektra Records. How do I know about that? Well, his name shows up on the back of album covers. You have Anita Baker. I have Anita Baker's catalog. I have it. I mean, like CDs. You don't know about those anymore, but I have my CDs. He shows up. He shows up, with Lisa Fischer material. I was like, oh, okay. Now, from my understanding, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. But, somewhere around that time, too, what's that lady name? I think we call her Natalie Cole. Natalie Cole also shows up, at Elektra Records. And what do we know about Natalie Cole? Mega hit. It's the Unforgettable with Love. The Unforgettable with Love CD that she releases on Elektra Records. That's what we know about it. Okay. Wonderful. Great. Awesome. I think it was very cool at the time, the way in which not Lisa Fischer, but Natalie Cole came out with that record because she's singing it with her father. So it's in Elektra Records as well. And guess what it is? I want to make sure of that. And guess when it was released? That record was definitely released in 1991. So we have Lisa Fischer in 1991 releasing How Can I Ease the Pain. We have Natalie Cole on Elektra Records releasing Unforgettable with Love. Unforgettable with Love is all over the place. So yes, then it's safe to say Bob Krasnow assisted that. Bob Krasnow assisted with this particular record. So it's wonderful. It's great, right? See, I just realized something. It's good. Shirley Murdock. Shirley Murdock comes out in 1991, doesn't she? Baby, I'm good. See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm good. I think Shirley Murdock. Doesn't Shirley Murdock come out in 1991 with Let There Be Love, the CD Let There Be Love? If it is, y'all see, I'm just good. I'm good. So we have Natalie Cole, Unforgettable with Love, 1991 Elektra Records. Lisa Fischer, So Intense, Elektra Records. And Shirley Murdock, Let There Be Love, 1991. Bob Krasnow. He loves his R&B divas. Anita Baker, Elektra Records, 1990, Compositions. I'm trying to think who else. I think we're safe. I think we're safe. Like I could probably miss a couple, but that's fine. So she's in a good company of R&B divas. So around 1993, there's another diva that comes over to Elektra Records. Her name is Angela Winbush. She goes over to Elektra Records and she releases her project in 1994. Great record, by the way. I love it. It was, most people call it a comeback. It wasn't like a comeback to me. It was highly anticipated, but I don't think you could call it a comeback. Number 6 on the R&B charts, hovered around the top part of the 100. So maybe like 105, 110 or something like that on the pop charts. But for Angela Winbush, that's a great stride for her. Okay. And for it to be number 6 on the R&B charts, here's a little trivia for you. I always said that what kept Angela from reaching the number 1 spot on the R&B charts in 1994, you know who was out at the time? R. Kelly. And if I'm not mistaken, don't hold me to this. You can do the fact check. It's fine. I'm cool. I can stand corrected. However, I think it was Bump and Grind. I think he had released Bump and Grind in 1994. And of course, that song was on the charts forever. And I'm thinking that song is what kept all of those songs at that time from reaching the number 1 spot, because that's a great song, Treat You Right, written and produced by Chucky Booker. It's getting kind of interesting as I'm remembering some of this stuff. So I'm saying to myself, okay, it's a steady build for Angela. Anita Baker releases Rhythm of Love in 1994. We're waiting on her to release something. Now, it could be Bob Krasnow or it could be the new executive that is about to come in. But Lisa Fischer has said there was a window of opportunity, she says. Like there was a window, a time in which it was kind of like, what are we going to do? And the record company was like, well, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do with you. So it could have been Bob Krasnow. It was like, I don't know what to do next. What to do? Is it really Bob Krasnow? I don't know. She says the record company, Elektra Records, says this. Now, did I just tell you some of the things about Lisa Fischer? What did I tell you? Number 1 R&B in the top 10, number 7 on R&B charts, in the top 70s, this, that, and the other. You know, for the most part, let's just say she has 3 top 20 R&B hits and 1 top 10 on the pop charts. She's made it into the pop charts again with her second single. She's tied with the Grammy Award. And y'all don't know what to do with her. See, music executives to me, and this is just my opinion, it's not a fact. They're not smart like that. Ooh, did you say that? I said it. What I mean by they're not smart, it's kind of like they just look at one and say, let's copy it. That's what I mean by not smart. I say like not smart. I'm talking about like they're not thinking outside the box. Come on. Really? So to me, if I was the executive, I would have said, well, just give us another How Can I Ease the Pain? Just give us another So Intense record. I mean, just what we're doing, let's keep doing it. Shouldn't be that hard. Let's get the same writers. Narada Michael Wallen gave you a #1 hit. Let's see if we can get them back in here. Maybe kind of switch it up a little bit, but let's stay with Narada. Luther Vandross is great. He did decent with us, but he's gonna have to hook us up. Ooh, child. See, y'all don't need to be doing me like this. See, oh gosh. Whew. I'm sorry. Just bear with me. I'm about to say something that I'm just trying to. Okay, keep it to yourself. Okay, y'all ready? Luther Vandross has worked with some R&B divas. You know what I'm saying? He's worked with them. Ooh, how can you dare say this? I'm going to say it though, but just bear with me. I'm trying to save the moment. But Luther Vandross has worked with some divas, Aretha Franklin. Jump, jump, jump to it. Dionne Warwick. What's the name of that song? How many times can we say goodbye? Love it. He's worked with Sherilyn. If This World Were Mine. Y'all hear where I think y'all know where I'm going, don't you? Then he comes back and he worked with Martha Wash. I Who Have Nothing. If you ain't caught on to what I'm about to go right now, shame on you. you need to come on with it. Do you know where I'm going with this? Now, what did we say? We said, I think I know because I was there when I said it. We said, Lisa Fischer has the same management as Luther Vandross. He was very kind for that. Luther Vandross produced singles on the So Intense album. I just realized, I said they were not my favorite. They were great songs, but they weren't my favorite. She sings background for Luther Vandross. You mean to tell me all those divas he was singing with, and he didn't even do a duet on Lisa Fischer's record? See, I wasn't even going this way. I wasn't. It just fell in me. See, I told you, I just kind of gels with me. I'll be like, I don't know. What y'all think? Because as I bring this up, I'm going somewhere now. I Who Have Nothing, If This World Were Mine. How many times can we say goodbye? I'm talking about the R&B divas. He even did a duet with Beyonce, didn't it? Was it Endless Love? I can't remember that because by that time, after 1991, I stopped listening to Luther Vandross. After 1991 with the Power, Love, Power, I was done. Luther Vandross changed his style. See, I like Busybody Luther Vandross. I like The Night We Fell in Love with Luther Vandross. I like Any Love Luther Vandross. You know, he started moving away from that style of music and of singing. And that's fine. Update your style all you want to. You know, it's my prerogative to change my mind. Or we do it all the time. Don't laugh. You probably done the same thing too. It's just that you know me and I don't know you. Now, one thing has taught me that staying in a particular genre of music I'm silly, I know. I can't be up there. So I'm just gonna take my music and work with it. You understand what I mean? So that's just the Luther I like. You know, I like that Luther, the 80s Luther. The 90s Luther, I just have no I can't do. See, y'all talk about doing Big Luther and Little Luther. No, it don't matter to me about Big Luther, because he had the same style. But now that 90s Luther, I was like, Lord, what is he doing? You know, it's like I'm confused. I'm confused with this music. I'm confused. I know, y'all. I'm trying to get back on track. Trust me, I'm going there. I'm just trying to but what could have been? Like, why did we not get I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there now. You know, I'm like saying, did he think she was not big enough of an artist to do that? See, that's what I'm talking about. People don't be asking the right questions when it comes to these celebrities sometimes. You know, I'm just like, and why you and Luther never worked together? Like, you know, did the duet, like on an album. But now it could have been on an album in the 90s, and I don't know, because I just told you I ain't follow Luther after the 1991 record. I just couldn't get involved. Now, I like a song called I Can Make It Better. I like a song called Your Secret Love. I think that's it. Ooh. But I do like the Luther Vandross CD. It's live. It's live. The live CD. Is it live at Carnegie Hall? Live at Radio City Music Hall. Woo! What you say? That CD live. I like to see these songs too because, see, I'm going somewhere. Look like we're going to have an hour video. Look like this is number 27. But let's get back to the point. I'm saying to myself, like, why ain't they never worked together in a duet? Here's Lisa Fischer, what could have been? What could have been? What could have been? What could have been if these octaves well, you know, we gonna talk. You know, he and Anita Baker allegedly didn't get along. And it's rumored that, you know, after they had their little riff on the road, on the tour, that, you know, he kind of tried to eat crow and invite her in to do the duet, I Who Have Nothing. They tell me Anita Baker stood him up. And so he just went out and he called in Martha Wash. And she sang on the record. Now, you know, they say he and Aretha didn't get along. Was it Jump to It or Get It Right? Jump to It was first, Get It Right was second. The second album. So they got into it, and you know Riri is a producer. You know, the way she be tickling those ivories on that piano. So they got into it. Now, from my understanding, I don't know if Luther was trying to tell her how to sing or how to produce or how to, you know, something or another. I'm sorry, y'all, my nose itching. My old nose itching. I must be on to something. That's what it is. That's nobody knows really. Ooh, I done stirred up some. I'm sorry. It's just like, I didn't know I was going here. I told you my mind just be like, well, how are we going to go with this? See, it just hit me. But we love them both, though. It's just, we be talking, we talking. So anyway, yeah. So supposedly, I think, was it the quote? Oh God, that's the 80s. I'm trying to remember. Did she tell him you are the producer and your job is to produce? Something like that. Can you imagine what that argument was like between Luther and Aretha Franklin? Now, I don't hear anything about him and Cheryl Lynn, having an issue in the studio, but they ain't saying, and there was that time, I think, help me out now, because I like I said, this is Luther, where I'm about to go, Luther in the 90s, so I could be misquoted on this. But now somebody told me Vanessa Williams tried to do him like that once before. They were performing or something, and she tried to throw a little party and tried to whisper into the crew's ear to come on over to the party, but then invite him or something like that. It happened between him and Vanessa Williams, but it didn't work for me. I guess I'm being shady today. I mean, we just own it over here on this part. We about to get back to focus, but I guess where I'm going with this, you guys, is that I don't know. Maybe Luther Vandross didn't feature Lisa Fischer like that because he's intimidated by her. I mean, y'all, I'm not spreading gossip. I want you to understand I'm not. It's just that we're talking about Lisa Fischer, what could have been. And so where I'm going with this, now we're about to get the real deal. Where I'm going with this is that she has the same management as Luther Vandross. The caliber of singer Luther Vandross is. I'm talking about the caliber. You're talking about a man who says he's not going to record a record unless he has certain people singing the background vocals because he's just that meticulous. He knows what he wants. Do you think he's going to let somebody upstage him if he's working with some legendary R&B divas? So I just don't see him. I don't see him thinking that she had enough clout to work with like that. I'm just saying. It would have been nice to have a Luther Vandross and a Lisa Fischer duet, though. It would have been perfect. But to think that a record company is saying that what she has been able to obtain, isn't that what you want in an artist? And then to have them Grammy nominated, win a Grammy, have the #1 hits, all of that stuff, it's proven that she has the goods to do it. And for a record company to say they don't know what to do. Now let's get back on track. So it could have been Bob Krasnow because, as I said before, he's out the door. He's heading out, if I'm not mistaken. He's not, he's about to be replaced. So maybe that's the executive over there who is saying, I'm trying to figure out what to do with you, and it just wasn't enough time to put that package together, the way he wanted to. He didn't know what to do. I don't know. Ooh, no, still itching. Ooh, no, still itching. I'm sorry. I must be on to something. See, I always thought it was the other way too. Well, the new executive come in, and her name is Sylvia Rohn. Believe it or not, I like Sylvia. I know some people probably say I've probably been real mean to Sylvia. No, I think I like Sylvia for the reason why, you don't like Sylvia. See, I didn't think I was going to do this. Why? I just love a consistent person. And Sylvia Rohn, what looks like this lady is consistent. It's like my way or no way. I don't care. See, that's why I like it. You know, it's like, okay, I just like a consistent person. I like, you know, you already know if you step outside this box now. Good night. And that's how I see it with Sylvia. That's what I mean by it. You know, it's like, okay. It's like, I'm not phased, baby. You know, it's what it is. I don't care. You know, she gives me that vibe, you know. And I guess for a female, she's not afraid to make the hard decision, you know. And that sounded kind of sexist, and I apologize. You know, most people would say, you know, a male can do that. You know, it just seemed like she's just unfazed by it. And that's what I like about it and respect about it. Not only that, but y'all, I'm here to tell you, she is responsible for En Vogue in so many ways. So, you know what I'm saying? Even though they had their riffs with the producers and all of that stuff, we're still talking about Lisa Fischer. You see how we kind of tie PC? How we tie things together? See, just hold on, I'm going to learn you something. So I always thought it was her that probably was the one, like, I don't know what to do with you. Now here we are. So we're in 1994. Anita Baker is definitely back on the scene after being gone for 3-4 years. She's back, and we're loving this Anita Baker. Body and Soul, oh my gosh, like Body and Soul. Different in style, but it's still Anita Baker. The whole record is different in style, but you know, it's kind of like, okay, we get it, Anita. We like you. And then Angela Winbush comes out, and we're digging that record. It's 1994. I think Bob Krasnow is still there in 1994. Some parts of 1994, I would say. But then something starts to happen. Anita Baker eventually leaves. Now, supposedly Anita Baker says she left because she had to ask for things. She started having to ask for things that other artists were automatically given. I heard her say that, or rather read where she said that in a publication, in an interview. I was like, I wonder what she said the artist's name. You know, I was like, Speaking of which, let me see, honey. Let me see. I don't know. I just want to, Lord have mercy.